Looking back at your life, at one point or the other, you've certainly experienced that getting negative feedback can hurt, and it certainly does hurt me at times. And there are different examples when something like that can happen. Could be an assignment at university, or your latest grand marketing campaign that nobody liked, or the latest video you pushed on your YouTube channel. And that's a quite recent example for me. I published a new video, and I to date have a ratio of likes to dislikes of 1 to 10, and I can tell you it certainly doesn't feel good. Especially in the first place, it really hurts. But I also believe that there's something in it for us, that kind of feedback, and I'd like to share with you what that is. Going back in time to looking at an example that where I went through all the different circles and actually saw what was in it for me was a couple of years ago. I had my company, a startup, and you need a bit of backstory. So what we did, or what our product was that we upcycled overproduced bread and transformed it into new food products. And one of those products were granola, crunchy cereal. And we did fairly well. I mean, that's a no-brainer product. There are very few people who didn't like it at the time because it checked all the marks. But at some point, it was me who came up with this ingenious grand marketing campaign, which I thought would just excite people, grab their attention, get the message across, and would just hit the market. So the concept was that we have different protagonists, different actors, and they followed one conclusive, one homogeneous story, which was that in the first place of that marketing campaign, of especially of the videos we shot, that in the first place they always did something weird with the bread, something like using them as shoes and walking around with them, or using them as a pot for plants and actually planting a plant in there, or walking it on the leash like a dog. That was like the opener. Should be irritating, should be bold. People look crazy on the videos. And then we would cut to our second scene where the actor, that persona, then does something actually helpful, actually good, like switching back to reality, our reality, where that person would eat the cereal, and the tagline would be that it's easy to do something good, just eat that cereal, and you're doing something good for an environment. So that was the whole story, and we did some testing with it, and feedback was good. So we produced all that material, we shot all the videos, and we throw some money on it to advertise it. And well, the feedback we received wasn't as we expected, because we were highly criticized for it. In fact, boy, have we been roasted. People were saying really bad things, and it didn't feel good. I mean, I felt bad. It hurt because the message was clear to us, and I thought that the idea was really good in terms of grabbing people's attention, but also getting the message across. And apparently it didn't. After a couple of weeks, we took it off because of the feedback we received. And after a couple of days, maybe weeks, when emotions calm down, we digged into it and we asked ourselves what happened at that moment. What did we see that others didn't, or vice versa? And what we found out was that people didn't get the message. They were so hooked up on the first part that they didn't even think about the second part anymore. Then it was clearly the wrong audience, because the people we were addressing weren't people who already were familiar with our brand, with our product, so that they didn't really know what it was about. And most of the time they saw it for the first time, and that was so irritating that it wasn't enjoyable for them, or wasn't even okay from a moral perspective. So after all, lesson learned: you don't mess around with food, even if we at any point in time always had the best in mind, because after all, we're saving food with our product and doing something good for the environment. You don't mess around with food, and it shouldn't be the butt of the joke. Yeah. So coming back to my video that I mentioned, and I can totally relate to when you have that kind of feeling that the when you put something out there, you're invested, you're excited about it, you you already put months, maybe years into it, practicing, refining your craft, and nevertheless, sometimes it happens that people don't like it for whatever reason. In the first place, I get it, it hurts. But then we have to take the step and overcoming that, and getting to a point to really ask ourselves what went wrong. Because sometimes it's the wrong audience, sometimes it's not refined enough, sometimes whatever, the quality is not what the people expected, whatever it may be. The importance is that whenever you or I get negative feedback, even if it hurts, we gotta embrace it, because that's an opportunity for us to learn from it. So do that. Go back to the things people didn't like. Don't take it off, and try to see what these people see. Try to ask yourself, try to ask them, and figure it out. Embrace it. I'm Micki. Thanks for watching Daily Reflections, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Take care.